Let's have a conversation. Tell me what you think about the issues of the world. What kind of spice you wanna be? Tell me where you wanna travel. Do you believe in luxury? What's your hidden passion? What makes you so unique? Conversations with Nicole. Conversations with Nicole. Conversations with Nicole. Conversations with Nicole.
Greetings, I am Nicole Everett, and this is Conversations with Nicole here at the Union Bank. This week's main segment features Kimberly Moore, the Vice President of Workforce Development at Tallahassee Community College. We'll also have an education segment featuring the Gaither House, an entertainment segment featuring opening nights, as well as a health segment giving you more information about Big Bend Hospice. So come on, let's get this conversation started. Greetings. Our featured guest today is Ms. Kimberly Moore of the Tallahassee Community College Workforce Development. Welcome, Kimberly.
Hi,
How you been?
I've been wonderful. So glad to be here.
I'm glad you're here with us. So tell us, you have been the face of workforce in this area,
Oh, my goodness.
originally with Workforce Plus and now over at TCC. So it's been a while since I talked to you, but
But you know what? When you're running a good conversation and give people time, you know what? What is it? It's
I
not even
know.
really, yeah.
I
So
know.
it's really good to be connecting with you again and catching up.
Indeed. So what are you doing over there?
Okay, well, I'm leading the efforts for workforce development at Tallahassee Community College. A lot of people ask me when I made the transition from Workforce Plus, like, what? Are you leading
Right.
Workforce Plus as CEO? I always, this is a 2.0 of Kim Moore.
Okay.
So going over to TCC and taking the skills and everything that I learned there, applying it in an educational setting, it's been fun. There are
Good.
so many exciting projects that we've been able to do,
Okay.
I think just as a result of those experiences.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So tell me about some of the things specifically that you're doing over at
Okay,
Workforce.
well, I'll give you one that's
Okay.
hot off the press.
That you
and
can
will
tell
be-
me about.
Oh, you know what? I love telling the story in advance because
Okay.
it gets the energy going for
Okay,
people.
okay.
So one of the big projects that we're working on now is Starbucks.
Okay.
TCC will own and operate its own Starbucks. So
Nice.
yeah, so that's been a great venture, and just knowing that we get to lead that effort and take TCC into its next 50 years. We've just celebrated our 50th birthday, so
Oh, yeah.
knowing now that Starbucks, what we really are, we're an entrepreneurial college in every
That's
sense of the
great.
word.
That's great.
Yeah.
So tell me, how has workforce development changed from when you started to now?
I will tell you that the biggest difference, even though everybody knows I was absolutely passionate about Workforce Plus, I think the difference is that I got to work with all the employers, heard what the gaps were and what their
Okay.
concerns were, and really what kind of people they'd be looking for and what they wish schools would be turning out in the way of talent. That yes, you had the theory, but we really need the application.
Gotcha.
I now get to infuse that into education because
Ah.
with Workforce Plus, I ended up seeing the people as they were and let's get you a job.
Okay.
Whereas here, I get to be on the front end and make sure that people are getting the training they need to go into the jobs that employers are hiring for
Okay.
with the skills that employers won't.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, how does the Workforce Center Development work in conjunction with, like, say, career placement? Is it one and the same, or are they two separate functions?
Actually, you know what? Even though I think after 3.5 years since I've transitioned from Workforce
been that
Plus,
long?
it has been.
Oh, my
And I
gosh.
tell you, I haven't even aged at all in
You
this 3.5
haven't.
years.
You look like you're going backwards.
But it's been 3.5 years.
Okay.
And from that, I will tell you that it is not one and the same. As a matter of fact, at TCC, I do no job placement at all.
Okay.
Yeah, it is all about training.
Okay.
I work directly with employers. We do the consulting, so I do have the consulting arm of that.
Okay.
But then there's a career center because now you're in an educational setting. So that's the piece that
That seems like a natural progression then.
it is. I tell people, my thought about it is that, I'm of faith, and because of that, I always know that my territory will never be minimized. It will always expand.
Be
So that's what I
enlarged.
walk into.
Okay, excellent, excellent. So tell me, that There are so many changes in workforce, you know, with the advent of technology and that sort of thing. What sort of There are so many changes in workforce, you know, with the advent of technology and that sort of thing. What are some of the jobs that you are seeing that, you know, employers are looking to, positions they're looking to fill, or skill sets that they want to, for folks that possess to employ?
I will tell you, and we do this each month, so it's called hotoccupationsnow.com. There's a website that we actually populate, though. There, it's the top 10 jobs that our employers are applying for or looking for. So you would see anything from healthcare. Nurses continue to lead the way in terms of jobs. Literally, before nurses graduate, there are opportunities out there. Then there's retail and customer service. You say, why? Well, in our area, because of the students and everywhere else, there's a big draw on that. Government, yeah, because you know that's one of our top 3 sectors as well. And then, interestingly enough, truck driving.
Truck driving.
Truck driving, yeah, it's a great field.
Okay.
Yeah, so they're looking to replenish that not only locally but statewide and nationally. So we're also rolling out a truck driving program too. That's new.
Wow.
Yeah, you'll see the TCC trucks, big truck semis going down there.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. So, do you get to interact with the students much at all?
I get to interact. You know, part of me, and I think how I'm able to lead is also being as much on the ground level as possible. And I think I take that from my years of when I started with Workforce Plus. You know, for those that don't know the story, I started off as an OPS case manager. So I was working, I was in the trenches before I became the CEO. So that part of me, I always want to know that I'm impacting the people that need the service, that need the support. So that's the same commitment that I've taken to TCC. So whether it's a GED graduation and talking to the GED students, since that's a program that I oversee too, you will find me having a relationship with the students, wanting to know how everything's going, and you know, what's next. You know, it's always push them, you know, be the top cheerleader.
That's great, and I'm sure they appreciate that.
Yes.
Yeah. So tell me, what do you believe the Workforce Development Center at TCC, what value it brings to this area?
Oh my gosh, you know, I think we play an integral role, not just you know, from an educational perspective, but also telling a story of those individuals who may determine that maybe a 2-year, 4-year degree may not be the path for them. That, you know, what if I just want to get the skills that I need to go into a job that's in demand? Well, that's success too. We define success a variety of ways, so it's not just, you know, the cookie cutter, you must look like this and you must graduate with this. It is where you are. I think the flip side of that is that we also reach you if you've gone out into your career and now you want to look for promotion. You don't necessarily need a degree for that. You maybe just need a skills upgrade. You might just need a certification. It's the destination for lifelong learning. So I think that's, you know, and know from my vantage point, that's what I believe it is. It reaches you where you are and takes you to where you want to be.
I like that. You know, I consider myself to be a lifelong learner, and I do love to learn. So, you know, encouraging others to remain teachable, because there's always something we can glean from, you know, education.
You're exactly right.
Exactly. So, what are tell me about some of the successes that you have with, or have had since you've been over at TCC?
I think the successes come by way of doing things that we've not, or that the college had not yet experienced. And some of those include starting new programs. We have longer term programs that take less than a year that are in demand. When I got there, there was 1. We've rolled out 5 this year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we're going to be aggressive. We're aggressive in our approach. Truck driving, that had been on our laundry list of to-dos. We're doing it this year. Starbucks, probably won't get a, you know, how will you snag a national brand or an international brand like Starbucks? We are. So I love the fact that we get to challenge ourselves each day of what might be perceived as impossible and may not even fall in the realm of what happens at a community college, but we're challenging that. And I would say that those are the successes, and seeing my team grow, as well as getting a chance to do some individual things, it's been wonderful.
Okay, excellent. So, as we kind of wrap up, are there maybe 3 tips you can give workforce or career training related? Okay.
I would say from the training piece, something that we've already hit on, but I think it deserves even more emphasis, and that's lifelong learning. No one says that you have to go out and get a PhD, but you best put yourself in a position to be learning and growing and making sure that you're in a position to get more information. That's how you grow. That's how you help others grow.
Right.
Workforce development. Other tip would be making sure that even though you're in a current role now, that you are preparing yourself for the next step. The next step, there's no defined date on it, but we all know that there's a next step.
Right.
Make sure that you're ready for it.
So staying relevant.
Oh, stay relevant. Stay relevant and be ready to walk into that next opportunity.
Okay.
And I'd say the final thing is just knowing your skills, knowing who you are and what value you bring. There's so many people that I have conversations with, they're like, I think I can do it, I think I can do it. Believe you can. Believe you can and just do. I always tell people, you cannot stop, go forwards, you must.
Yes,
Yeah.
love it. Those are excellent tips.
Well, thank you.
Well, thank you so much for
You're
your time.
welcome. It's been a pleasure.
Pleasure having you. Welcome, Cornelius.
Thanks for having me.
So, Cornelius, you acquired the J. Gaither house back in 2014, and what were your thoughts about what you were going to do with it then?
Well, actually, I had no idea it was Jay Gaither's house. I own a house down the street, and I was just going to flip it because I'm a licensed contractor. And when I walked in, I saw all the pictures of Jake Gaither, and I said, man, this is Jake Gaither's house. I walked out, and I thought about it overnight, and I said, I can't sell it. And I, got all memorabilia from all the coaching clinics that he did. I had my 14-year-old son actually Google Jake Gaither and found out that he had coaching clinics with Bear Bryant, Frank Howard. He started the Rock at Clemson. So I learned a lot. I knew about Jake Gaither, but I had no idea that he did coaching clinics back then in the 50s during segregation, which is a real big thing back then, during segregation.
As a Rattler alumni and also a former football player with FAMU, you know that Jake Gaither made a big mark on FAMU football.
Correct.
Okay. So what's the importance of this house being in the community and being preserved as you have preserved it?
Well, I think one of the significance of the house is that I've got, like I said, I've got pictures of the governors from 1940 all the way to 69, and during segregation, that was unheard of a black African-American man meeting with white folks during that time, during segregation. And my mother's from Alabama, so when I was little, I could not go to the stores in Alabama. I had to stay at home, and they went to the stores in the summertime when we went to Alabama. And Jake Gaither was the guest speaker in 1970 for the Crimson Tide. And there's a whole lot of significance with Jake Gaither. For instance, my son is in high school. He's a senior now. And so now if it wasn't for Jake Gaither, a lot of these black kids wouldn't be going to Division I schools. So now you have it where if their grades are bad, they go to a JUCO college. And from JUCO college, they go straight to a Division I school, whereas HBCUs are missing out on all that black talent. So I think it's something that the community and we as a people need to know what Jake Gaither meant.
So tell me about what the house has to offer.
The house has everything to offer. I've rented out, me and my wife, we rented out for weddings, receptions, luncheons, and actually during the summertime, a couple of groups from Astoria Park, the elementary kids have come to visit the house and learn more about Jake Gaither.
So you could do tours?
Correct.
Okay. So you have a big event coming up.
Yes.
Tell us about that Weekend of Champions.
Weekend of Champions. Weekend of Champions, November the 11th, we're having a banquet at the Jake Gaither Gym. We have a Hall of Fame, Andre White speaking. His father and Jake Gaither were actually best of friends, and he started the integration game in Tampa in 1969. You know, they always give Bear Bryant the credit 1970 versus USC Alabama against USC, but the real integration game was Florida A&M against University of Tampa.
Okay.
And Florida A&M beat them. And then, so that's Friday.
That's some unknown history.
That is Friday, November the 11th from 6 to 10.
Okay.
And we're going to have the Phoenix Uprising performing, playing live jazz and reggae music.
Nice.
And a dinner banquet will be from 7 to 9.
Okay.
And then on Saturday morning, we're having my wife is doing the 5K run, 1 mile walk.
Okay.
And then I am doing the golf tournament.
You are doing the golf tournament.
I never play golf.
Really?
But we're going to learn Saturday.
Okay, good.
And,
so come get your golf on.
So that's November the 12th.
Okay.
And then after the golf tournament, the 5K run, we're going to have a tailgate barbecue from 1 to 3 at the Gaither house.
Okay.
And then the game, Florida A&M plays at
that's
4
nice.
o'clock.
Okay, good.
And then Sunday on the 12th, we're going to have a brunch.
Okay.
And then after that, me and my wife, we're going to fly away.
All right, very good. So you heard it right here from Cornelius Jones. The Gaither House, do drop in, take a visit, take a tour, and also check out the Weekend of Champions coming up. Welcome back to this week's health segment on Conversations with Nicole. Today's special guest is Ms. Cathy Adkison, the CEO of Big Bend Hospice. Welcome, Cathy.
Thank you, Nicole. It's good to see you
Good
again.
to see you too. So you've been with Hospice about 5 years
I have,
now,
yes.
right? And I know you've been very busy.
We have been, and you know, we service 8 counties in and around Leon County, and we have quite a bit of rural care that we provide. Actually, half of our care that we provide is in the rural county, so we serve a real need out there.
Excellent. So, you know, there have been some national tragedies that have taken place as it relates to, you know, some racial issues and law enforcement officers. And I know grief counseling is one of the services that you all provide. Can you tell me a little bit more about how that works and who that may be extended to?
I would love to. We have a very good bereavement department. We have children's bereavement also. And we provide care to anyone that needs bereavement care. So anybody that's grieving for whatever reason, it does not necessarily have to be the death of someone.
Okay.
We have support groups that we offer all hours of the day and night, actually. And we also have one-on-one counseling with our grief counselors.
Excellent. I know hospice provides end-of-life care for folks. How do you assist people in identifying when maybe a loved one may need hospice services?
Well, we work with all of the healthcare providers in our 8-county service area, and we actually have our community relations staff go out and speak at churches, health fairs, anywhere that we can get an audience to talk about hospice and end-of-life planning.
Okay.
We have a program called the Peace Program, and it's for advanced care planning. And in the nutshell, it just means to start thinking about what you would do if you're in a terrible accident and, if you had to be on life support, what would your family, don't leave that decision to them, go ahead and make that decision.
Yeah, that can be tough, but those are conversations that do need to be had.
They are, and we also do something, it sounds kind of morbid, but it's called a death cafe. We do it once a quarter.
Okay.
And we have anywhere from 7 people to 30 people show up that want to talk and find out a little bit more about death and dying. It's, it's kind of a taboo subject. And depending on, I guess, culture too, on whether people are willing to talk about it.
Right.
Reverend Candace McKibben is our Faith Outreach Director. I don't know if you know.
Yeah, I do remember Reverend Candace, yes.
And Reverend Dr. Lenny Marshall works for us,
Okay.
and so both of them are out and talking to anybody that will listen to us, particularly minorities.
Okay.
There are some cultural reasons why we have found that African Americans don't necessarily choose hospice. And because of our efforts, we have increased the number of African American patients that we have, which I believe is very, very important. If you look across the nation, I think it's like 5% of all Medicare deaths are minority, and for us it's about 25%.
Oh, wow.
So we have
you
made
all
it.
really made it a concerted effort.
We have, and you know, we believe at Big Bend Hospice that no one should die alone, and no one should die without hospice care.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you have an event coming up, the Tree of Remembrance.
We do.
So tell us a little bit about that.
It's out at the Governor Square Mall.
Okay.
And gosh, I can't remember if it's in the center court or not, but we have about a 25-foot tree, and it is a way to remember people who may have died, or also just an honor of somebody. And it's a great fundraiser for our uncompensated programs. Bereavement is actually one of those things. Music therapy, and our chaplains are too.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, we'll get some more information on the screen about that. I want to thank you for joining us for this health segment.
Thank you, Nicole.
Stay tuned for more. Welcome back. Featuring my special guest, Mr. Chris Heacox, the director of Opening Nights Performing Arts at Florida State University. Welcome, Chris.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Thanks for being here. So you've been here almost 5 years.
Right.
You're in your fifth year. So for my viewers who are not familiar with Opening Nights, tell us what that's about.
So, Opening Nights Performing Arts, which was 7 days of opening nights originally about 19 years ago, is the performing arts series here at Florida State University. So we present everything from music, theater, dance, spoken word, fine art, comedy, and film here on campus and off campus in the Tallahassee community.
Great. And the season runs October through April?
Correct. October through April, but our really big focus is always in February, which is a nod to the original 7 days festival. Correct.
Right. Yeah. You know, so that actually shows that Tallahassee does like entertainment. To go from 7 days to actually now a season of entertainment.
Originally 9 days, I believe, the first year, and now we're doing about 45 shows a year.
That is excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. So tell me about some of the folks you got lined up for this season.
Yeah, this year we're really excited. We've started with a few movies and some smaller things, but we have the amazing 13-year-old jazz pianist Joey Alexander coming here. It's his first performance in this area. He's only done one very small performance in Boca.
Okay.
So we're going to say it's his Florida premiere.
Okay.
We also have 2 shows of Smokey Robinson in February.
yeah.
So I don't know the last time Smokey's been through town, so we're really, really excited about bringing him here. And another big performance we have coming up in April is the amazing jazz master Wayne Shorter coming in and playing with his quartet, as well as some musicians from our College of Music.
Fabulous.
Yeah, we're really excited.
That's great. So tell me, you are doing, trying to book artists year round.
Right.
So tell me 3 artists that you'd like to get here that you haven't had the opportunity to do so.
Yeah, so they're kind of all over the place. Jazz pianist, composer, Herbie Hancock is one that I've really wanted to get for a long time. Elvis Costello, we had his wife here, Diana Krall, but we haven't had Elvis here.
Okay.
And then I would say the amazing group Pink Martini is one that we've heard a lot of things about. We had Storm Large, who sings with Pink Martini here last season, but we'd like to get the full group here.
That would be wonderful.
Yeah.
That would be wonderful. Tell me, what value do you think Opening Nights adds to the Tallahassee community?
Yeah, I mean, we're really the kind of performing arts series that are bringing entertainment and education at the scale that we're bringing it in here in Tallahassee. So I think we're adding a lot of value. We can also say that there are a number of people that come here to Tallahassee just to see the shows. So it's not just a benefit for our community and campus, which is huge, But we also bring people to our community that maybe have never been here before just to see a show that may only occur here in Tallahassee. We bring a lot of things here that we're the only place in Florida that you may be able to see this. So we get a really great kind of economic and tourist impact here in our community.
That's great, and that's a unique attribute that you bring to
Absolutely.
the community. So
Yeah.
we appreciate that. Well,
Yeah.
thank you. You keep up the good work.
Thank you.
And we'll be looking out for some more entertainment from opening night.
Well, we'll be doing it.
All right,
Thanks.
very good. Stay tuned for more conversations. Thank you for joining us for this week's conversation. And remember, never let the things you want make you forget the things you have. Join us next week as we continue to connect the community through conversation. See you next time.